This is like the Slack channel that, SuperInsight would be working off of. And we can now, ask a very specific question. So we have obviously different ticker. We call this the little hedge fund analyst, and SuperInsight has, different ticker. We've accumulated all the different tickers that make up this hedge fund's portfolios and the companies that they look at, and now we have consolidated all the models themselves, the modeling behind this that lives within Amazon SageMaker. And now we can take a general question like, what would be the next quarter's revenue for Revolve, which, the beauty group, but be able to ask this with just the acronym that just the stock ticker itself, right? And be able to then not only get in reply to this, not only get an answer from a data perspective as to what the model's prediction would be for what the next quarter would look like, but also get, because we have this agentic structure working in the background, also get insight from the internet and filter out that data to help also correlate between the market as to, well, we're predicting that the next quarter's revenue is going to look like this, but this is also the why behind it, by providing market insights and help correlate those two connection points. And so in just a little bit of time, SuperInsight will start to develop that response, validate the information it came back with, and then come back with a comprehensive answer saying, well, we think, Revolve is projected through the model that it interacted with. It uses in the model, it finds the model that would help with predicting where Revolve would be. And it says, Revolve is projected to generate, how much ever in revenue. And then it also provides some explanation as to why, coming from what we're web scraping and the market insights that we're delivering here. And we can even see this in an Excel format if we went into it. And so I think this is, a really revolutionary use of the tool itself, and really helped, drive as a core accelerator behind how, the hedge fund space, but how it can really be applied to any space, right? Because at the end, all we're doing is taking these agents that are, experts in their own regard, one being an expert on the market space and where the market is with Revolve, one being able to break down the question itself and understand really what the user is asking, and then one being able to then correlate the insights that the question that it gets broken down into to the actual models that are available in SageMaker, and then help inference those models and then help drive that overall prediction. And then finally, that orchestration layer that, talks to these different pieces, talks to these different agents, and then comes back with a consolidated answer. So we saw what the prediction looks like, but let's also see how we can use historical data and then, show that, represent that data on a quick site visual. So we can also ask a question like, okay, well, show me the revenue trend for the past 8 quarters, right? And then SuperInsight does its little agentic process and goes back to the drawing board, and now it's going to be interacting with a visual agent, a web scraping agent, still the same data agent, and all of these different agents to then help formulate a response. And it's all kind of happening in parallel. So we may see web scraping agent show up every now and then, we may see another agent show up, but they're all kind of being being worked on at the same time. That'll help bring back the answer that's coming back for these questions. So these are, some of the real use cases where we use this. And so yeah, now we see the visual agent get triggered, coming back to that orchestrator to then, format together the overall response. And once we have that information, we should be seeing a visual. Yep. So we can see the visual that comes back as well, showing what those, next quarter, the previous past 8 quarters have looked like for Revolve, as well as get that same, understanding of the explanation itself as to, what do we look like in Q4, what do we look like in Q3, and what's that year-on-year growth look like, as well as why, what some of the reasons for what has been the key growth drivers behind this, and what's been reason for fluctuation within Revolve space. And we then also wanted to show, how industry specific the tool can be as well. So the Revolve is, we at this point, we were just talking about a general metric and KPI like revenue. And so maybe that a model would have an understanding on that. But we also talk about it in the context of, logistics, a more industry specific question where the information and the underlying data set itself has a little bit more to it. And so there where we'd be able to ask a question and like, show me the trend of loads for the past 6 months. And again, this is a visualization, so SuperInsight will work with a visual agent for getting this information, but I'll also have to understand the data set itself that supports the data behind the visual and the different shipments and loads that XPO, a logistics company, has been experiencing. And then we also want to try to correlate to that to the business insights that might come from, what the market is saying about XPO and maybe even recent changes that they've been doing. And once all those agents have, spoken a little bit together, kind of comes back with the response as to what XPO's been doing, what have been those load volumes look like. And we have data here for till September of of XPO's metrics, so it'll only pull whatever information is actually available in its underlying data set. And that's been and it talks about a little bit as to why as well from the same market sentiment agents. And I think this has just been a really great use of how we've been able to leverage some of Amazon's most recent developments like Bedrock multi-agent and like the abilities that they've given us through the QuickSight platform directly, as well as SageMaker, to help make all these connection pieces and integrations, work seamlessly together, all living within one platform. And that really concludes the demo here.